Did you see my speech yesterday? How many stories did you report on Russian collusion conspiracy lies? No, I want to know, have you apologized for Russian collusion conspiracy lies?
Recently, I was browsing news articles and I came across this headline. What exactly would it take for Republicans to walk away from Marjorie Taylor Greene? To be honest, I stopped and laughed to myself because the answer is so obvious.
The House of Representatives has spoken and minutes ago voted to remove the Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene from all House committees. This comes after GOP leaders refused to strip her committee assignments themselves and punish her for past support of dangerous conspiracy theories, liking social media posts calling for political violence, harassing the Parkland survivor David Hogg, and much more.
If school zones were protected with security guards with guns, there would be no mass shootings at schools. You know that? The best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun.
Here's a hint. No amount of her lunacy is going to make the Republican Party cut ties with her. Sure, the House voted to remove her from all committee assignments for promoting conspiracy theories, but that's just because the January 6th insurrection was still so recent and fresh in everyone's mind, and ultimately that punishment was equated to a slap on the wrist. No, it doesn't matter how crazy Greene gets. She's here to stay. That's because she appeals to the Republican base for the same exact reasons Trump did and still does. That is that Trump and Greene are one of them. No, I don't mean one of them as in being a rural middle-class American or something like that. I mean that they are one of them because of how completely insane they are. You know the phrase real sees real? Well, crazy sees crazy too. For example, Marjorie Taylor Greene was a nutty Trump voter until she ran for office. Now she's a nutty Trump-supporting congresswoman. That's why Greene and Trump aren't going anywhere.
You're going nowhere.
As toxic as Greene is, there's no denying that she drums up support in the GOP with her hatred and bigotry. But there is one simple and obvious thing that could spell demise for Marjorie Taylor Greene's future in the Republican Party. That is, if she started telling the truth. If that happened, the GOP couldn't expel her fast enough. We have a perfect example of this too. Look no further than Dick Cheney's daughter, Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
It's over. The House Republican Conference had a voice vote. That means no recorded total, and has ousted Liz Cheney from her number 3 position within the conference. There will not know the vote totals here. It's something of one could say, an elegant way to avoid embarrassing either the leadership or Cheney with vote totals. She spoke to cameras briefly afterwards, remarks similar to what she said in front of the conference, and now we expect to see her continue on with what she has promised to do, which is try to lead the Republican Party away from Donald Trump, but she will be doing it from the outside, no longer a member of House leadership officially.
She had the audacity to reject Trump's election lies, and her own political party turned on her for it. They made an example of her to send a clear message to all office-holding Republicans. We aren't interested in the truth, we're interested in staying in power. It's that simple. The only thing that will make Republicans walk away from Marjorie Taylor Greene is if she stops being herself.
They want to put their hand on the Koran and be sworn in? No. You have to be sworn in on the Bible.
No, you don't, you stupid motherfucker. You can literally be sworn in on a science textbook if that's what you choose.
This clip has the exact same energy as this clip.
You have to swear on a Bible to be an elected official in the United States of America. He alleges that a Muslim cannot do that ethically, swearing on the Bible.
You don't actually have to swear on a Christian Bible. You can swear on anything, really. I don't know if you knew that. You can swear on a Jewish Bible.
Oh, no,
you can
I swore on the Bible. I've done it 3 times.
I'm sure
Jay.
you have. I'm sure you've picked a Bible, but the law is not that you have to swear on a Christian Bible. That is not the law. You don't know that? All right, Ted Crockett was
I don't know. I know that Donald Trump did it when we made him president.
Because he's Christian and he picked it. That's what he wanted to. That's what he wanted to swear in on.
Here's something that's said a lot in YouTube comments, but never said enough by mainstream media. Conservatives are incredibly stupid. We have mountains of video proof.
The whole COVID thing is part of that whole deep state control thing.
I think Fauci is a fraud. And
why is Fauci a fraud?
Because he's not a scientist, okay? And
he's an immunologist. Is that not a scientist?
No.
You can't name the third one? The third agency of government, yeah. I would do away with the education, Commerce. And let's see. I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
Usually it takes 5 years for a drug, and we're doing emergency use, so that's not going through the normal channels.
And Donald Trump was responsible for the emergency use, right? He got it done so quickly.
That's correct. He got the vaccines ready, and what was funny, they were ready before the election.
So if Donald Trump says they're ready, then why should we wait for more trials?
No, there's no way I'm going to take the vaccine.
But Donald Trump said we should all take the vaccine.
That's cool.
But I thought you said you believe everything Donald Trump says.
I do believe everything Donald Trump says.
I don't take a damn aspirin, I don't do it. I'm not doing it. I will not be forced into these drugs where they're going to kill people.
It's hilarious that conservatives complain about mainstream media having a liberal bias because they are literally too stupid to understand how easy outlets like MSNBC and CNN go on them. Conservatives are the dumbest people in the country, but we still have news networks playing both sides. When do you ever hear news hosts bluntly calling Trump supporters idiots? Never. Sure, they'll sometimes hint at it.
You don't know that?
The entire Republican Party is full of morons like these specimens.
Is there anything that the National Forest Service or BLM can do to change the course of the moon's orbit or the Earth's orbit around the sun? Obviously, that would have profound effects on our climate.
But establishment media refuses to directly say it. Also, anytime right-wingers face even the smallest amount of criticism, their victim complex explodes.
He's made villains out of Americans who chose not to get vaccinated, calling it the pandemic of the unvaccinated. I don't really think that's unifying the country.
That's rich coming from a guy who worked for the shit stain that said this.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
The sniveling gnome that is Sean Spicer can go fuck himself. Conservatives see the world as black and white because gray areas are too complicated for their brains to understand. Critical thinking is a foreign concept to them. And don't get them started on critical race theory.
What is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that what little bit that I know I don't care for.
That guy literally just said he doesn't like this thing, but he refuses to talk about that thing because he doesn't understand it. The sense of entitlement from these people, that we should all listen to their opinions, but they also openly don't understand anything about what they're talking about. This needs to be addressed way more by mainstream media and our political leaders because the morons are growing in numbers.
For some reason, we're supposed to be spending more money that we don't have on future COVID and future COVID variants and future COVID vaccines because really that makes a lot of sense. Why is that an emergency? It's in the future.